Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Web3 Boy, and today I want to show you guys how I start my audit and what is my process. So this video is obviously for the beginners, not for someone who's very experienced, right? So many people still wonder how to start the audit if the audit is too big. So recently I have concluded my audit of Zivo and I want to discuss about it, right? So, what is my process? How do I, start the audit, right? So, what I do is when audit starts, what I do is I just take the, this, um, there is this scope file. So you just have to take the scope file. This one is not included in this. So, uh, it could have been included in some other, folder. So you just find the scope file and then either you there are a few extensions. So the extension I use is what do you call it? Not here, wait. So this one, reload mark files from scope. So it will just it will mark all the files, but since scope folder is not here, it will not mark, right? So once I pull all the files from the scope folder, so what I do is I just identify which is the core contract. So instead of hovering from, instead of just there are various processes, but what I do is like I just find which one is the core contract and then branch out from there. So let's say in the Zivo there are like Zivo DAO and then Zivo Governor and Zivo Globals, ITO, Locker, reward vesting, votes. There are so many, so many uh, contracts, right? So there was a code walkthrough video. So what I did was I watched that code walkthrough video and identified which one is which one is the most important one. So I started with Zivo ITO and Zivo Locker, I guess. Uh, no, not Zivo Locker. It was. Wait, I'll tell you. Zivo tranches. I had also seen Zivo tranches. OCC modular. Let me see. Okay, OCC modular. Yes, yes. This one was the core contract for me. So I started with this one, right? So after I completed this, I basically skipped the events, right? So structs are very important because you mostly get to know what are the important variables. So I just start and see how things are, like see how the all the state you can watch all the state variables. You can watch the enums right here, right? So once you have completed watching these, I mostly skip these. I just take a look over these and then skip these and then watch all the state variables, then mappings. You just keep watching, like just go through them once so that you have something in the back of your mind that okay, there is something like refinancing, there is something like loans extension. So just keep watch all these and have them in the back of your mind, and then watch if the constructor is actually initialized properly or not. Is there something that has been left uninitialized? But mostly this is okay. So so then here there were many events. So what I did was I just skipped the events because mostly events are not that important. But but in this particular contest, there was a finding related to the event emission, and that was a valid high finding, right? So which led to a reward. So this contest basically told me that do not skip events ever, right? Like have have a second thought about events while looking into the functions, right? So after the events are finished, you can check about modifiers. Is modifier is properly uh, you know modifier is proper as intended or not. uh, and then the functions are there. So these are just important, not that important functions, that it's just scan push that returns true. So you can just tag audit okay or something like that. I didn't do it because the one liners I don't do tagging, right? So can pull, so it's just return true. So can pull partial returns true. So these three are not, I mean, those are important, but not as important because you cannot find some vulnerability here, right? Then there is this loan info function that so I just watched it and it was okay for me, so I just moved on, right? So one thing you can do is, let's say what I do is, like, let's say there is this payment schedule and it's int 8, right? So if it's int 8, mostly what developers do is they use uint 256, right? So uint 256 is by default, the default value of uint. When you say uint, it's uint 256, right? So mostly the unsigned integers are basically uint 256. So what mostly I do is I just look where the payment schedule is used. If payment schedule is somewhere used, it is uint 8. Since it is uint 8, it won't be a problem. But let's say uint 256, you find something as uint 8, and there is a casting done, and that cast under I mean uint 256 value is downcasted to uint 128 or 8, something like that, right? So if something is downcasted, you have to check whether the maximum value is being overflowed or not. So in that case, most of the time when you see uint 8 or uint 128 or uint 96, something like that, so pay special attention if if there is some kind of downcasting or overflow or underflow is happening or not. In that case, you'll find might be you'll be able to find a critical vulnerability in that case, right? uh, and then let's move on to the next function. So this is a function that is showing how much amount is owed. Let's say you are taking a loan, and on that loan you have two parts of the principal part, and there was an interest part, right? So 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 here the calculation is for the principal part, and here the calculation is for interest part, and the total is principal plus interest plus late fee, right? So what I did is I started mostly just go line by line. So what I do is I start with this line and start understanding what this line is doing. And if I have some notes, I'll just put it here, like if payment remaining is equal to 1, it will store principal load in principal. So that is just for my understanding. If this whole node thing is just for my understanding, and it is a good practice because when there is this function which is too big, you cannot just in your head calculate all the things or understand everything and get a whole gist of it, right? So it is better practice to at least write your thoughts down on the code base. Once you understand this, you try to understand this, and then there are two scenarios, the if scenario and the else scenario. So understand what can go wrong if if something is not happening. Let's say there is a comparative operator, right? So there is an operator that compares, right? Let's say the payment schedule, something like payment schedule is greater than 0, right? greater than 10, let's say greater than 10. Okay, so for now, if something is greater than 10 and some else part is calculating less than 10, right? Less than or equal to 10, right? So in that case, something might go wrong. So pay special attention to also the these comparators, right? So you might sometimes you might find off by one errors, or sometime you might find something like anything can. There was this error where someone is calculating x is greater than y and x is less than y, right? So x is greater than y is also the case, x is less than y is also the case, but there was no scenario for x is equal to y. In that case, when x is equal to y, the whole function has no logic for it. That was also a logical error. Obviously, like there are many types of error, but since if someone is starting with less coding experience, he might definitely want to explore how the logical errors are. Okay, so understand everything. Put an audit code if something goes wrong. Like if something goes wrong, or if you think there is something wrong. Like in this one, I was thinking that maybe the calculation of principal as cycle basis, and I put an audit tag that if this is amortization schedule, it should be calculated based on this. Interest is not taken into account, but later on I got to know that this wasn't an issue because interest is taken into account here, right? So I could have done it as like audit okay, but I didn't do, but that is okay, right? So you can put your own tags accordingly. You can put audit tag, you can put audit okay, you can put note, anything like here I have put note, right? Late fees calculated here as PRT by total seconds elapsed in which these things. So I have done my own calculations and all, and here I have put my own audit tag and understood the whole function and put my own audit tag, right? And moving on to the next functions, I understood everything. I you know put my own notes here after, and doing all this, I if I feel that everything is okay, I put it like this, like audit okay. So this one is okay, you don't need to come here again if you put audit okay. That's my own way of doing it, right? Again, there's this next function. So what this function is doing, this is a required condition, this is emitting an event, this is also updating the state of the loan to cancel it, right? So understand this function and put a tag on it so that you don't have to come here again. And whenever you can also put a little bit of note, but since this is here, the NatSpecs is cancels a loan offer, so you will understand that yes, this function is for canceling a loan offer, right? And you basically what you want to do is you have to just uh, you know uh, this is too big a code, right? Lots of functions are there. Try to understand each function, each line by and then as the time passes, as you are getting comfortable into the code, you will understand what the whole code base is doing, and also what the overall system is trying to do. So when you're just starting out, don't try to do this big of a contest. Try to focus on a contest that is less than 1000 lines of code, right? That will definitely help you far better. And since the code base is smaller, the result will also come very fast. So that will also help you to understand what are the issues that you might not have found, right? So the problem with the large code bases are, let's say you have completed this this particular file only, this particular contract only. Let's say you have not completed floor math, right? Not floor math, let's say you have not completed Zevo math, right? And there is a finding from Zevo math, so you don't have context of it. So how will you understand what I mean? You can understand the vulnerability, obviously the vulnerability that has been submitted and found, but to have to understand an issue better, you need to have a full context of what the whole contract is doing, and in that case you will be understanding the issue submitted and valid issues submitted far better. So so this is it, guys. Like, these are the this is how I do. uh, you just keep on understanding each part, understand each function. Do not just jump from here to there to there. Don't do that. Just understand everything, what every function is doing. But earlier I was doing like that, but now I'm not doing like that, right? So let's say this create offer is there, so you understand everything, write everything, whatever you think should be written. So I wrote here that the offer is created with offer expiry as 3 days, net special 14. But this was not a valid issue. Obviously, they said that nat spec is wrong. So there is this make payment. So I put audit tax notes, all the things. It's obviously like, I didn't produce much better result in this, but yeah, obviously, like, for understanding and for learning purposes, this was a nice contest. I got one valid finding, but that is okay. Like, uh, try to understand everything. For beginners, you try to understand everything, and that is how your learning process will be. So start with a contest, start with a smaller contest, and keep on connecting the whole code base, keep on understanding the whole code base and connecting each functions by each other, and getting a larger picture of what the whole code base is doing. Connect it with the docs of the protocol, and when you are completely understanding the protocol, definitely you will be uncovering some good issues, right? Maybe initially try to focus on logical issues, and as the time goes by and you have a clear picture of whole code base, maybe dive into the deeper issues, right? So yeah, this is it, guys. If you have any queries, do comment and I'll try to clear it out. And thanks a lot, guys. If you like the video, please share the video. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.